AFTV, Laurie, we've just seen a rather disappointing result. I think everybody can agree with that. 3 games in, haven't seen anything particularly convincing yet. Just give me your quick assessment of the game overall.
You're right, it was a disappointing day. It started disappointingly, and many would say ended disappointingly. We give away a goal with not even a minute on the clock. I thought that was poor. Saka's pass, I don't know what he was trying to do there, but he wasn't fully switched on. Then we had the goalkeeper Ramsdale. He seemed to be caught off balance. His feet was all over the place like Bambi. Then, we try and pick up the pace. We go through the gears a little bit. We equalise, deservedly so, I thought. And then I thought we're going to kick on and win it. We get another goal, courtesy of Eddie, who I thought looked very bright when he come on. So I'm thinking, 2-1. We haven't played that well, but it looks like we're going to get the win. And then lo and behold, 5 minutes ago or less, we concede another goal that we should not have conceded. So it just concluded what was a very disappointing day overall. And I've got to say, man, based on what I'm seeing so far, things need to change and change quickly.
How much credit do you give to Fulham for still knocking on the door? It looked like they were bringing on defensive players to try and see the game out. And a lot of teams would have gone, you know what, we've come to the Emirates Stadium, we've never beat them here. We've given it a good run, 85 minutes in. Let's try and sit back and hold this off. But they kept going, they kept knocking on the door and eventually got their equaliser.
Yeah, you know what? As I would say badly, as unconvincing as we were, I thought Fulham were very good today. They defended well, they kept the shape well, defended manfully, a lot of last-ditch tackling. I thought Leno had a very good game. So all in all, although we had by far the majority of the possession, and we created a few more chances than them as well, I think a draw is probably a fair result, to be honest.
And given that we've seen good performances from players off the bench, players that are sort of fringe players that we're going to need to chip in, does that give you hope for the rest of the season going forwards that we're seeing in Nketiah and Fabio Vieira put in the types of performances they did today off the bench? Because we're going to need that whole squad if we're going to make a run at anything.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, listen, a lot of what will be said after the game will be largely negative, but there were some positives. Eddie, I mentioned before, he did very well. He looked sharp when he come on, took his goal really well. Fabio Vieira, the much maligned Fabio Vieira, let's be honest. He came on today, he looked sharp, he looked industrious. I think he had a scissor kick opportunity, which if that goes in, that's one of the goals of the season. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. But some of the other guys need to step up. We've not been quite at it. And I've got to say, the manager may need to look at revising some of the tactics and some of the players that he's putting in positions that I don't feel are a natural fit to them, namely people like Partey. So I think all in all, man, we got to improve and improve fast.
It's one of the things I wanted to ask you as well. Obviously three games, no convincing results, but we've survived. Is this something that needs to be changed by Arteta, by the players, or there's still time in the transfer market? Where do we need, where's the quick fix, or is there a quick fix?
Not necessarily a quick fix, but I actually thought the Palace game, I was at that game, I actually thought that given the circumstances, you're away from home against a team like Palace, who on their day can be pretty good. We went there, controlled the game. We then went down to 10 men, but we got the win. I thought that was a good performance. The game against Forest, though, and today, the 2 games at home, to me, we've looked a bit lacklustre, if I'm being honest. Now, a lot of people have said about the Partey situation, him being played at right back. I don't necessarily think that's a good look. I mean, he's not done badly because he's a very good player. But is that the best use of him? No. Some people are saying he's been put in that role to accommodate Havertz. And Havertz, to be fair, has not hit the ground running yet, but it's only 3 games. So we're not going to try and go after him too much. But I just think things need shaking up a little bit. The games are going to start getting a little bit harder from here on in. Because let's be honest, Forest at home, Palace away, and Fulham at home. Some people might say that's not the hardest opening trio of games that we could have had. So, listen, we got 7 out of 9 points. Yeah. So it's not terrible, but I don't think the performances have been what we would have expected.
And finally then, you mentioned that run, which is meant to be something of an easier run. We've got Manchester United next. Now, they've been up and down themselves. They're a team in transition, but still lots of talent. Does this game give you massive reservations? You would have gone into that game expecting Arsenal to win based on last season, but has these recent performances changed that at all?
Not really. I mean, it's Man United. It's a big game. It's North versus South, traditional rivals. It's going to be a very difficult game. It's going to be a well-contested game, but it's definitely a game I think we can win. I just think he's got to tinker with the lineup. And when I say tinker, I mean maybe go back to what he was doing previously before he started tinkering. So untinker the tinkering, and get back to the formations and the players that we know does work. And I think, yeah, it's a very winnable game.